machine is not my love.
Michael Jackson's legendary performances looked flawless. But behind the lights and unforgettable moments were unexpected challenges. From dangerous equipment failures to shocking live mishaps, even the king of pop faced moments when the stage refused to cooperate. Screaming. These rare incidents reveal the pressure, precision, and professionalism required to keep a show alive when everything starts going wrong. Munich stage collapse. One mechanical failure nearly turned a legendary performance into tragedy. In 1999, during the MJ and Friends benefit concert in Munich, Michael Jackson was performing Earth Song from an elevated platform high above the audience. The bridge mechanism was lowered halfway through the performance, but the central section detached and plummeted to the ground. Jackson fell roughly 50 feet in front of thousands of stunned fans. The shocking moment could have ended the show, but Jackson refused to let the accident stop him. Despite the fall, he got back on his feet and continued performing. The crowd watched on, unaware of the injuries he had suffered. Only after the show ended did Jackson seek medical treatment. Doctors treated him for severe back injuries, a sprained ankle, and shock. Tour director Kenny Ortega later confirmed a mechanical crane failure caused the accident. A routine stunt became one of the most dangerous moments of Jackson's career. Before we continue, let's take a look at today's special topic. Michael Jackson always seemed to defy physics with his incredible talent, but sometimes luck wasn't on his side. During one of his stage performances, Michael lost control and injured his legs. As you can see, his feet appear to be bleeding. The incident left many fans heartbroken. However, this version of Michael Jackson's story remains unclear because we cannot verify whether it is true. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The toaster flop. The grand entrance was ruined before it even began. During the Dangerous tour, Michael Jackson relied on a stage lift fans later nicknamed Music the Toaster, designed to launch him onto the stage instantly. The effect created the illusion that he had suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Everything depended on perfect timing. But during one performance, the mechanism failed. Instead of shooting upward as planned, the platform slowly rose while Jackson remained crouched beneath it. Thousands of fans watched the surprise unfold too early, exposing the illusion before it could have any impact. What should have been a jaw-dropping entrance turned into an awkward technical mishap. The audience could clearly see how the effect worked, stripping away the mystery behind one of the show's biggest moments. For a performer known for flawless stage production, music was a rare setback. The show continued, but the failed reveal became a memorable reminder that even carefully planned effects can go wrong when technology refuses to cooperate. Scream starts silent. The opening seconds crashed into silence when they were supposed to explode with energy. During the History Tour in Gothenburg, Michael Jackson was preparing to launch into one of the show's most intense performances, Scream. The song was designed to hit hard from the very first moment with every sound perfectly timed, but the plan unraveled instantly. As the performance began, the backing track failed to start, and Jackson's microphone was off during the opening lines. Instead of the powerful introduction fans expected, the audience was met with an awkward gap where the music and vocals should have been. For a few tense moments, the performance lost its momentum. Thousands of fans watched as the carefully planned opening struggled to begin. Then the technical issues were corrected. Once the sound returned, the show quickly found its rhythm again. Though the show recovered quickly, a few silent seconds transformed a powerful opening into one of the History Tour's strangest technical failures. Backing track vanishes. The safety net disappeared and suddenly all eyes were on Michael Jackson. During the Royal Brunei concert in 1996, Jackson was performing Scream, a song built around synchronized music, vocals, and stage effects. Everything was running as expected until the performance hit an unexpected problem. Then the backing track cut out completely. The music supporting the performance suddenly vanished, leaving a noticeable gap in the show. There was no warning and no time to prepare. For a moment, the entire performance rested on Jackson alone. Instead of stopping or waiting for the issue to be fixed, he continued with the backing track gone. He carried the opening verse live and unassisted in front of the crowd. The polished production audiences expected had suddenly become unpredictable. The technical failure could have derailed the performance, but the show pushed forward. What began as a carefully controlled production became a test of performance under pressure. Sometimes technology becomes the biggest challenge on stage. Pepsi fire disaster. A routine commercial shoot turned into one of the most painful moments of Michael Jackson's life. Music. On January 27, 1984, Jackson was filming a Pepsi commercial at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles. The production featured music, bright lights, and pyrotechnics designed to create a spectacular performance. Everything seemed to be going smoothly. Then, during the sixth take, disaster struck. A technical error caused the magnesium-based pyrotechnics to ignite too early. Sparks flew toward Jackson and set his hair on fire while the cameras continued rolling. Within seconds, the situation spiraled into chaos. Crew members rushed to help as fire extinguishers were used to put out the flames. What started as a carefully planned commercial became a serious emergency. Jackson suffered second and third-degree burns to his scalp and was rushed to Brotman Memorial Hospital for treatment. The injuries left lasting scars and required further medical procedures in the years that followed. The accident permanently changed Jackson's life and career. Moscow slide mishap. The stage decided to add its own choreography that night. During the dangerous tour in Moscow, Michael Jackson stepped onto the stage expecting every move to go exactly as rehearsed. His performances were built around precision, with every step and slide carefully planned. But the stage had other ideas. A wet surface had made part of the stage unusually slippery. As Jackson moved through the performance, he suddenly slid much farther than intended. What should have been a controlled movement became an unexpected glide. For a brief moment, the performance seemed ready to drift off script. Yet, Jackson reacted instantly. Instead of letting the mishap break the flow of the show, he adjusted and carried on as if nothing had happened. Many fans may not have realized anything went wrong. The crowd saw a superstar performing with confidence. Behind the scenes, it was a genuine stage mishap caused by conditions no performer could fully control. Sometimes even the stage fights back. Anti-gravity fail. The world's most famous illusion came dangerously close to falling apart. During the History World Tour, Michael Jackson stunned audiences with the legendary anti-gravity lean. Fans watched him tilt forward at an angle that appeared impossible, creating one of the most iconic moments in concert history. But the secret wasn't superhuman balance. The move relied on specially designed shoes that locked onto pegs built into the stage. The effect looked effortless, but depended entirely on perfect timing. Then came the nights when the timing failed. During shows in Tokyo in 1996 and Amsterdam in 1997, the heel occasionally missed the stage peg. Without the connection, the illusion vanished instantly. Performers had to quickly regain their balance before a stumble became a fall. For a brief moment, the carefully crafted trick was exposed. Thousands of fans saw the performance continue, cheering, screaming, but few realized how close the famous move came to going wrong. Behind the illusion, one small mistake was enough to let gravity take over. Bangkok backstage collapse. The show never even made it to the stage. In August 1993, Michael Jackson's Dangerous World Tour was one of the biggest concert events in the world. The tour had crossed continents, attracted millions of fans, and seemed unstoppable. Then everything changed behind the scenes. Just hours before a scheduled performance in Bangkok, Jackson suffered severe dehydration and collapsed backstage. The medical emergency forced the concert to be canceled, leaving thousands of fans waiting for a show that would never begin. At the time, the public received only a brief explanation, but as the year continued, it became clear that larger problems were affecting the tour. The physical demands of constant travel, performances, and personal pressures had taken a serious toll. Later in 1993, Jackson acknowledged a dependency on pain medication and announced he would seek treatment. As you may already know, after my tour ended, I remain out of the country undergoing treatment for a dependency on pain medication. In November 1993, the remaining dates of the Dangerous World Tour were canceled. What began as a backstage collapse became a major turning point in his career. Fan reaches the stage. For one tense moment, the entire show hung in the balance. Spotlights swept across the arena as thousands of fans watched every move from the stage. The music thundered through the crowd while a crane carried Michael Jackson high above the audience, creating one of the night's most dramatic moments. Then someone broke through. A determined fan slipped past security and climbed toward Jackson while he was suspended above the crowd. The unexpected rush instantly turned a carefully planned spectacle into a situation no one had prepared for. The tension rose fast. Yet, while security scrambled to react, the performance never stopped. Jackson remained composed and focused as the music continued. High above the audience, he reached out and helped keep the fans safe while the situation unfolded around him. What could have become a dangerous interruption instead became one of the night's most memorable moments. The crowd witnessed more than a concert. They saw grace under pressure that fans never forgot. Billie Jean's silence. The loudest moment came before the music even started. During the 1988 Bad World Tour at Wembley Stadium, Michael Jackson created one of his most unforgettable entrances for Billie Jean. The routine was familiar, but the way he controlled the moment made it feel completely new. He slowly walked toward the center of the stage, adjusted his fedora, and waited. That was the secret. With thousands of fans screaming, Jackson somehow created a moment of complete focus. He stood almost perfectly still, allowing the anticipation to build before the famous bass line began. The power came from patience, not movement. Instead of rushing into the performance, Jackson used silence as part of the show. Every second added more tension until the music finally exploded. It was a masterclass in stage control, proving that a performer did not need constant motion to command an audience. Sometimes the smallest movement could create the biggest reaction, leaving fans completely frozen in anticipation. If you've made it this far, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel. The mythical firing, a tiny stage moment, created a huge misunderstanding for years. During the 1996 Royal Brunei concert, Michael Jackson performed "I Just Can't Stop Loving You" with singer Marva Hicks. During the song, Jackson interacted with his longtime musical director, Brad Buxer, after a timing issue occurred. The moment quickly became a famous rumor. Many fans believed Jackson had fired Buxer live on stage, claiming he said, "Job gone," after the mistake, but that story was not true. The song's arrangement included a specific transition, and the interaction was simply part of handling the live performance. Buxer, who had worked closely with Jackson for years, continued collaborating with him afterward. What looked like a public confrontation was actually a professional handling a technical moment in real time. Jackson kept singing while communicating with his team, preventing the audience from noticing the issue. A brief confusion sparked a legendary rumor, but it was simply Jackson and his crew keeping the show running. From unexpected stage failures to legendary performances, Michael Jackson's journey was built on countless rehearsals, recovery, and perfection. Thriller. Final rehearsal. The final chapter of a legendary song was built on decades of perfection. Thriller had already become one of Michael Jackson's most famous performances, but its later staging pushed the classic into a new era. Ever. The production expanded the famous graveyard theme with larger visuals, advanced technology, and a more cinematic experience. Behind the spectacle was a song that demanded precision. Written by Rod Temperton and released in 1982, Thriller remained a challenge even after decades of performances. Jackson continued aiming to preserve the original sound, including the song's demanding vocal style and iconic timing. The production also highlighted Vincent Price's unforgettable narration, adding another layer to the track's dark and theatrical atmosphere. From its unforgettable music to its groundbreaking visuals, Thriller stayed ahead of its time. Even during Jackson's final rehearsals, the song remained a symbol of his dedication. Yeah, right. Recreation. So, you should just be coming off the left foot to creating a performance that audiences would never forget. A track that changed pop culture continued carrying the same power until the end. Smooth Criminal Illusion. A dark rhythm and impossible movement turned one performance into a mystery. Smooth Criminal was more than just a song. Inspired by 1930s noir films, the track evolved from an early demo called Al Capone into a dramatic story filled with suspense and danger. Michael Jackson helped shape the song with creative production techniques, including the use of his own heartbeat as part of the track's rhythmic foundation. Under Quincy Jones's production, sharp synthesizer sounds added intensity to the song's tense atmosphere and matched the story surrounding the character Annie. But the biggest shock came on stage. The video changed from the marquee to the city. I gotta feel that. I'll feel it. Okay. Jackson introduced the famous anti-gravity lean, a move that appeared to break the laws of physics. Specially designed shoes and stage pegs allowed performers to create the illusion of a 45 degrees tilt without visible wires. The move became one of the most unforgettable moments in pop history. Smooth Criminal combined storytelling, technology, and dance to turn an impossible idea into reality. Super Bowl takeover. The halftime show was never the same after Michael Jackson stepped onto that stage. Before 1993, Super Bowl halftime performances were often simple breaks featuring marching bands and traditional entertainment. Jackson changed the game during Super Bowl 27 with a performance that became a global event. The biggest surprise came before he even sang a note. The show opened with a dramatic illusion as body doubles appeared on giant stadium screens, making fans believe Jackson was appearing in different locations. Moments later, the real Michael launched onto the center stage through a hidden lift effect. Then he did something unexpected. Jackson stood completely still for nearly 2 minutes before a massive audience, creating intense anticipation without saying a word. The silence became part of the performance, proving his ability to control a crowd with presence. Jackson used the performance to promote his Heal the World Foundation, while the iconic show transformed halftime entertainment and proved the lasting power of a single stage moment. Dangerous Tour ignition. The silence ended and the entire stadium exploded with energy after the dramatic toaster launch at the beginning of the Dangerous World Tour. Michael Jackson's transition into wannabe starting something became the moment the show truly came alive. For nearly 2 minutes, he created suspense by standing almost completely still. Then the opening beat hit, releasing all the tension built inside the stadium. The change was instant. The dancers moved with the rhythm. Lights flashed in perfect timing, and every part of the performance worked together like a machine. But behind the excitement was a difficult challenge. The performers had to go from complete stillness to intense movement within seconds. The crew also had to coordinate sound, lighting, and pyrotechnics without missing a beat. Every detail needed to work perfectly in front of massive crowds. Cheering. This opening proved that Jackson was not just creating a concert. He was designing a full-scale stadium experience where suspense, music, and movement collided to create something unforgettable. Earth Song Finale. The final rehearsal carried a message far bigger than the stage itself. On June 24, 2009, Michael Jackson performed Earth Song during his last rehearsal at the Staples Center. Despite the intense preparation and demanding production, he delivered the performance with energy and focus just hours before his passing. The song was designed to become the emotional centerpiece of the plan this is it shows. It combined music, visuals, and technology to tell a powerful story about the planet. A large screen sequence showed a young girl moving through a damaged rainforest, connecting the performance to its environmental message. The production featured massive stage elements, including the cherry picker crane and a tank designed to represent the destruction caused by conflict. Jackson also incorporated his poem Planet Earth into the performance, turning the stage into a message about protecting the world. The final rehearsal showcased Jackson's storytelling, creativity, and passion for meaningful music, becoming an unforgettable moment from his final days. Bad Tour explosion. The lights went out, and the entire stadium waited for what came next. During the Bad World Tour in 1988, Michael Jackson created an entrance built on suspense, speed, and pure stage power. Unlike his later performances that relied on dramatic machinery and slow reveals, this opening used darkness as the biggest effect. The band created a deep electronic build-up while the stage remained completely black. Then, without warning, bright lights and smoke revealed Jackson standing frozen at the center of the stage. The silence lasted only a moment. Seconds later, he exploded into the opening choreography of Want to Be Starting Something, turning the entire arena into a burst of energy. The bad entrance was about nonstop movement. Jackson wanted the audience fully engaged from the first second with no time to look away. Instead of depending on massive effects, he relied on his dancing stamina and stage presence. Jackson transformed from a performer into an unforgettable stage legend. Black or White Blast. The darkness disappeared, and the stage exploded with color. During the History World Tour, Black or White became a powerful shift in Michael Jackson's performance. After the darker and more dramatic sections of the show, this entrance brought a completely different energy filled with brightness, movement, and unity. The stage transformed instantly. A massive screen made of multiple panels flashed images from around the world, creating a constantly changing visual display.